X-Mill and X plan to take my furniture after visiting. So I usually get along well with the Mill even though I've split from X for a while, but I guess things have been a bit rocky recently over visits with our son, 1Y, etc. But tell me YTF, when I invited them round to see our baby last week, did Mill start saying to my ex, "Oh, you bought that sofa, didn't you? You'll probably be wanting that back," to which he agreed. And then they started going round pointing out all my furniture that he helped me collect, which I bought, and saying, "Oh, that's nice too. You really are good at finding deals." Then they discussed how to drive my furniture back to their fully furnished house. I know sounds kind of fair because he bought the sofa, but I only have it because we switched and I gave him mine, which he has since given to a friend. The rest of the furniture is all mine, and he just drove me to pick it up since I bought everything on FB Marketplace, and YK, we were in a relationship. That's kinda what you do. Seriously, why was she starting this? I already get zero financial support from my ex. I can't take him to court because he's a FT student, so can't be made to pay child support where I'm from. And now that I'm at the end of my maternity leave, living off dwindling savings, they want to take my furniture? For no reason other than they like it? As angry as I was, I just stayed polite and eventually they let it go. But before leaving, they went through my kitchen picking out whatever food they wanted and took it with them. My ex used to do this every time he left and was annoyed with me, claiming I would just let it go off. Since the first thing he'd do when he came over was check the fridge and chastise me if I'd let any food go out of date. So I've come to expect this from him and frankly don't even care anymore, but his mother? Seriously. Why do they think they can just help themselves to whatever they want from my home? WTF. Obviously not going to be allowed back if they pull this shit, and seriously, isn't maintaining a good relationship and seeing our son more important? Comment. Don't give anything back and stop allowing them into your home. Once he's done being a student, go after him in court for support. Why wait? Serve him now. You may not get blood out of a turnip at the moment, but back child support should start ASAP. As every else has said, don't let them back in again. Change the locks and look through the peephole before you ever open the door. Remember, just because someone comes to your door doesn't mean you have to open it. Send him a bill for the food they stole from you so they both know they cannot walk all over you again. If you don't have court-ordered visitation, stop. Tell him to take you to court for parental rights. When asked why, just say his last visit he stole food and openly discuss stealing furniture. I didn't feel safe. Then only do supervised visits at neutral locations, the park, the library, a restaurant, etc. Never let them in your home again, and if they ask, you can simply say because they stole from you, and you won't allow it to happen again. If it comes up again, you can state, "We did a fair trade," you cannot go back on it. If he picks a fight with it, then state, "You can see me in court." Sounds to me they are playing mind games with you. How awful to stir the pot and attempt to create stress for you. Next time, do not let them in. No more invites. They or he can stay outside. As for X-Mill, officially 100% no contact. Do not let them know it bothers you. If he asks why, just state, "My place and my rules," with a smile. No room for further discussion. If he gets snippy, you can say, "Okay, time to go. I am going inside now." Next story 2. How do I bring up to my partner that I don't want his mom living with us anymore? Long post. We're getting married soon, and surprisingly enough, his mother is still living with us after 3 years. We've done everything for her and she still refuses to work. When we bring it up, she says she applies for jobs all the time, or she can't work right now because she cooks and does the dishes. Her cooking is shit. I'm not trying to be rude because it can be nice, but we have to buy everything and she ends up burning it most of the time. Also, we're adults. I think we can cook for ourselves. She's also a bigger lady and it makes our grocery bill enormous. Cooking and doing the dishes a couple nights a week doesn't mean you can't contribute to the bills, considering you cause most of them, lady. Every time I bring these issues up to my partner, he talks to her about it and she will start crying. Nothing ever changes. She's always in our business, which is one of the things that annoys me the most. There's also some emotional incest stuff there too. It's strange to me that she has so many children and family members, yet only one of her kids would take her in. The rest hardly talk to her. Is that why she wants to be so close to the only family member that willingly talks to her? I can tell when my partner gets annoyed with her and vice versa, and we try to be nice but it's not working. At the end of the day, she can be a sweet lady, but I don't think she knows how much stress she adds to our lives. It's like taking care of a child, maybe even harder at times. And just so everyone knows, she's not very old, she's just lazy. My grandmother is around her age and still works. Most of my co-workers as well. I just don't know how to bring it up to my partner without sounding mean. He doesn't think she can ever live alone, and I'm not going to stay here if she doesn't come up with a plan to support herself. At least get a part-time job. We are a young couple and she limits us so much. She limits our date nights, sex life, hanging out with friends. She screams when she talks. She has numerous subscriptions that we pay for. She is always in our business, especially my partner's. If I look somewhat decent, she asks what I'm doing. If we try to have a date night, she's sad or tries to tag along. She guilt trips us about how lonely she is, yet makes no effort to make friends. She never leaves the house unless it's with us. When I need to run an errand, she begs to come so she can get out of the house. She tries to hang out when I have friends over. Guess what? My friends don't want to come over anymore. The list goes on and on. Any advice on how to bring this up to my partner before we get married? Sorry if some of this doesn't make sense, I haven't been sleeping well, lol. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening to me rant. Comment. Make sure to let him know if he ever allows her to move back in, whether a month or 25 years after you married, you will pack your bags and leave. There won't be any discussion. I want to marry you. Not you and your mom. Where do you see us as husband and wife 5 years from now? I understand your mom may need assistance and you love her, but we are enabling her by giving her a home and no motivation for her to take care of herself. Perhaps we can put the wedding on hold and give your mom a timeline. If he gives any excuses, respond with okay, I understand. Your mom is the priority. I deserve to a priority with my future husband. I may start looking and planning on moving out. I love your mom too, but it is getting to the point of no return. Tell him it's gone on long enough. Either she moves out or you do. It's hard, but you need to know he will put you first, forsaking all others. If he would rather make you uncomfortable than his mommy, you owe it to yourself to get out. He is not her emotional support animal. And give him a time scale. If he chooses you, he'd better, then she has 30 days to get out with no extensions. You have to be strong here. She has walked over you long enough. Do you own or rent the house? Whose name is it in? Next story 3. Mill is nuts and it might actually be the whole family. I have been with my partner for 10 years, his family have never been the most welcoming and are always arguing with each other, not talking or blaming one another for anything that goes wrong. We had a brief respite from this when last year my partner's grandfather passed away with cancer. It was the first time in years that everyone got along. My partner's nan, Mag, moved in with his sister, Emily, as she needed help after losing her husband and was struggling to cope. We all spent Christmas and New Year together and it was lovely. Then February 1st comes round. On this day we found out that Emily had stolen thousands from her nan, and when she got found out she kicked Mag out with stupid excuses of her being horrible to live with, selfish, etc. Me and my Mill, Lee, then spent the next 6 weeks sharing the duty of caring for Mag and going backwards and forwards with bank/police to get her money back. Mag and Lee then fell out over something stupid, so it was up to me and my partner to sort everything. For the next 2 months we looked after her. She decided to sort out a will, as this was one of the things that she really struggled with when her husband passed, as he had no will. Everything went straight to her, but she didn't want to leave anything to chance when it came round to her turn to pass away. She found a lawyer and got a will drawn up, leaving everything to my partner. She also at the same time made me and my partner her power of attorneys. My partner has a list of everything that she wants to go to each person and wants him to be in charge of divvying it all out, as it will save time of it going through probate if everything is going to one person. About 4 weeks ago Lee comes back into the picture, apologizing for their stupid argument and trying to help again. Great, we think, as all the pressure isn't on us anymore. Then one day we get a screaming phone call asking why we are POA and why everything is being left to us. We try to explain that although it is, there is a reason behind it and we have no intention of keeping everything to ourselves. In this screaming match I get called all the names under the sun and told I am a selfish, horrible woman and I am a gold digger and will keep everything to myself. Difficult, as nothing will be in my name anyway, as it is going to my partner. My partner's family are far from rich and I have never been interested in my partner's money. I am the breadwinner in our relationship and we share all our money so we can enjoy our life together. Around 4 weeks ago Emily came back in the picture. She apologized to Mag and Lee and all has somehow been forgiven, even though I have already seen money start going missing from her accounts or being paid out to random companies, clothing, that Mag would never use. I raised this to Mag and Lee and they have both sided with Emily, saying I am just trying to stir up problems and turn them against their granddaughter/daughter. In the end it all comes down to money. My partner is at the point of no longer caring what happens with his nan, mum, and sister, and I don't blame him, but I genuinely care about his nan and have basically now been told to stay out of everything. As one of her POA I have access to view her bank account and now get to watch it dwindle down as Emily and Lee slowly empty it. I know when she runs out of money they are just going to disappear and leave her with nothing. She isn't going mad, so I feel like I can't do anything to step in yet. The whole family is messed up and it is driving me crazy. Comnet. You and your partner need to discuss how much time, effort, and money you want to invest in trying to save his grandmother from herself. She is of sound mind, and she knows her granddaughter is stealing from her, and she is okay with that. I agree with you that it is wrong and that when the money is gone, they will disappear, leaving his grandmother in a bad situation. But that is not your responsibility. You have no authority to overturn his grandmother's actions. The whole leave all the property to one person and let them give it to others sounds sketchy, because there is no way to compel that person to actually give the property away as the person intended. I would also suggest that if his grandmother is now okay with the mom and granddaughter, and not listening you and your partner, then maybe you and he should wash your hands of the whole mess and let them deal with it. I know this isn't what you want to hear. But your partner's grandmother is choosing poorly and she is allowed to do that until she is declared mentally incompetent. This is not you and your partner's responsibility, and you and your partner will be dragged into the mess unless you both decide to opt out of all of it. I say this because I lived it with my own family. You can't fix crazy and you can't fix dishonest people, and most of all, you cannot force someone like grandma to make better decisions. Grandma is an adult and responsible for her own actions and the consequences of those actions. She doesn't want your help. Disengaging is the only way to keep your sanity, because you aren't in a position to fix any of it, because grandma will cover and support granddaughter no matter what she does. Sit down with grandma and tell her you no longer want to be her POA/beneficiary. You know she is being ripped off by daughter and granddaughter and she is choosing to allow it. You can't stand by and watch because it upsets you, and you aren't going to clean up the pieces once she is broke and they abandon her. Offer to pay for a lawyer to change everything to the daughter and wash your hands of it all.